Hello everybody, my name is TheTroublmaker, and this is Wargame AirLand Battle. We have a match this week from the NATO player representing the color blue. His name is Fenchurch, and his opponent representing the color red. His name is Taargus. Taargus and Fenchurch. Taargus, of course, is, I would think, a little bit better of a player. He has a very low rating, but it's kind of a mask. He's actually a little bit better than his rating would suggest. This map is kind of interesting because all the high point bases are along the north here, and all the low point bases are along the south. And what that means is that you have this weird dynamic, which you wouldn't really see from this angle. It's normally a two-player map, I'll be honest. And in this map, what ends up happening is the fastest reinforcement points, of course, down here, but you have to control this middle area with towns and whatnot. But your high point bases are all up here. So what you have to be able to do as a strategy is either maintain your main base and go for the high points, or go for the reinforcement and try and win on the fact that you can rally in more units. It becomes a very, very hard choice, and so you get a lot of very interesting matches here in which people are duking out for this very, very important Bravo base, but at the same time have to worry about this scary path into the main base here. Very, very frightening. There's also all these lines of attack here that can just hit from all locations. So maintaining control of this central area becomes very, very important, but so does maintaining the base, the 5-point base, or at least denying it. So interesting little cliff note about this particular match. We have Fenchurch playing a US national deck, and Taargus is in fact playing a UK national deck. So maybe some fun and calamity can come from that. UKs don't exactly have the worst deck, but obviously it's not as potent as the US deck. So that's something to note in this matchup. Now we do have a lot of airborne infantry here from Mr. Fenchurch, and looks like he's going to want to try and grab a nice little forward base, and it will probably be in this Bravo location. He does have them all split up, which can be kind of bad sometimes. Simultaneously, we see that Taargus has used a single helicopter to bring in a small group of infantry. And I like no sound. That's odd. Why do I have the most sound? There we go. That's a little bit better. Yeah, I can deal with that. Alright, I have sound again. God, with it, that music was ridiculous. So, let's see. We have some helicopters going to fly in, and this could be a mistake, of course. There is a tracked rapier in the distance here. We're going to have to see how this ends up. There is 5 Marines here and a Saracen. The Marines are gone immediately. 3 Saracens will be dropping. What magical unit do we see here? The Fusilier Squad, of course, Engineering Corps. US Marines are charging the way. And there's a lot of Marine squads here. There's probably 80. This is probably maxed out Marines. He probably cannot get this many more Marines with vehicles like this. So this is actually a pretty costly engagement for Fenchurch, and Taargus is actually trading very, very cost effectively. He does have control of this little town, which means that these Fusiliers will survive a little bit longer than they normally might. And we do see the Lynx coming back to try and aid some support. The Chieftain MK10 here is out of position, should be joining in this battle, helping out, but is not. He has the track rapier, is moving up to try and deal with some of these UH-1Es, of course, for helicopter support. And one helicopter does go down for Taargus. We see some bombers coming in. An A6 Intruder. Ooh, it's taking a beating here, however. One more rapier, and boom, it's actually gone. That's a huge deal. All the while, the Harrier jet comes in on a location that doesn't exactly have a lot of AA. The Harrier will be able to perform very, very well here. In fact, does get a nice hit. Here comes a second Harrier. Just the madness continues as he's going for these jungle-bound guys here in complete miss, however. Ouch. But we do have a position gained by Monsieur Fenchurch. He does have a Humvee command post in position to actually take control of this location. We do see some anti-tank guns firing across the way, some very well-placed anti-tank actually, and supporting this recon, which is just in a really weird position. I would be surprised if it survives that much longer. It's taking out 1-point vehicles, which is kind of funny, because it means effectively that there's really not much that can be done here by Fenchurch to defend this just yet. He's got to get these Rangers in here. Once he gets the Rangers in, he should be okay. Javelin's purely emptied. He's going to pull them back. Wants to get them to a supply truck, if at all possible. It might even be cheaper to just get new Javelins. They're so cheap. But here we go. Green Jackets versus Rangers. Your British Green Jackets versus your US Rangers. The US Rangers did take 1 hit, 2 hits now. Looks like the Green Jackets, in fact, do outrange the Rangers, which gives a slight advantage to Taargus, who's now choosing to retreat and gain a position along the middle, which, of course, as I said before, becomes very, very important. I mean, it's so important that we have Fenchurch has staged a Rangers here, and he doesn't actually have his guns turned off. So he might be able to take some pot shots at these Saracens that are driving by. He does have the AT gun. He does want to probably put a forward AT position here just to kind of sweep at stuff. And will the Rangers be able to hit? And he does get a couple pot shots, but no damage dealt. And no, 0 damage dealt, not even morale damage. And he's moving it up very closely. He wants to get some rocket shots off, and this could be dangerous. He gets 1 Saracen down. Will he go for a second? Whoa! Yes, he does get the second Saracen, but the Fusiliers are dumped in time. And it looks like the Fusiliers should be able to take out this Ranger squad. Especially if the Saracen support here on the battle. And another group of Saracens will be moving in to join the fray. The Rangers are pulling back, however, and Fenchurch might be able to save them because vision is a bitch. In fact, Taargus sees nothing, cannot see this now hidden Ranger squad. But there is an intruder coming in to try and help clean up some of these infantry units. Gets 1 good shot off, gets a few hits there, but not enough to do any serious damage. Will we see the deployment of Harriers, a counter-deploying Harriers, and whoa, we have mortars out. Mortars, of course, and counter mortars as well. Mortars trade very, very cost effectively right now. And if you are learning this game and you are watching, make sure you have some mortars in your deck because they do very, very well. And this Ranger is just being obnoxious. And here comes another intruder volley. Gets actually everything there. Good on by Fenchurch. Grabs everything, using this Ranger as a spotter for his planes. But here comes the Harrier, dropping some bombs on the Ranger, and he gets all of them. Pretty good. He did pretty good. So now the map is starting to look more left and rightish, less clouding of units, as Taargus has secured his area, and he's gotten a lot of control of this middle group, which of course is very, very good, especially for his kind of tactics. He could side sweep here into this area and go for the main base. He absolutely could do that. And even by pushing this command out of the way, and this is thinking tactically, people, just by pushing this command out of the way, he can actually make it so that Fenchurch has nowhere to spawn, and then just protect the spawn points and win that way. Alternatively, you can do what he's doing, which is a position type play, and continue doing this mortar based strategy, which he's doing right now. So we're seeing the mortars from Fenchurch are trying to hit this track rapier, which he must be seeing. He doesn't have it spotted. In fact, he does have it spotted. And having spotted this unit, he is able to use a focused attack, which means that the concentration of shells is higher because it hits a smaller area, and he's able to do a lot more damage with it. And we're actually going to see a counter artillery fire here. This is when you fire on the enemy artillery. Sometimes it can be good, sometimes it's bad. In this case, it looks like Fenchurch has spread out his lobs pretty well and will be taking maximum damage. The one big downside to these mortars is in fact that they are quite the weak unit. It's a medium-sized unit, 10 strength, but they will fall apart relatively fast. Not too good compared to the bigger, stronger artilleries, of course. So yeah, it's hot out. It's like 30 degrees outside. And looks like we could see some kind of preparation for a push here. We see 8 USMC tanks. These are, I think, 25 apiece. Yes, they are. They're very effective at close range, and this particular scenario works out very well for them. You can march his USMCs across here, take out the AT-10 come along, vector this way, and go after the Chieftain MK-10 and potentially hit this anti-tank come along here as well. Alternatively, he could take these tanks all the way across here, dart right into the woods. That's right, dart right. Grab this location, place some infantry here, and pick at this stuff with a recon from this position, or even this stuff. This location is very, very good as well. So he's got a few options for what he can do for this attack, and if he wants to pull it off effectively, that is. We're going to see a lot of AA apparently coming out here for Taargus, really fearing that high airplane count that we do see from Fenchurch. And these Rangers still being kind of obnoxious, but this could be the end of their misty trails, as the Fusiliers should be able to undoubtedly clean these up. And this will end the Fenchurch presence in the woods here. Oh, except for this Delta Force here, of course, which has just been plopped down. And this Ranger squad over here, getting that all-important vision. And we see some A6F intruders walking on by. That flapping noise was, in case you were wondering, was my miniature dash hound. He's in the room with me today, being obnoxious. He loves to sit in the sun, tip over garbage cans, and chew on everything. So I'm half watching the game, half watching the miniature dash hound. And whoa, that was a huge volley. Knocks out both mortars. That was devastating. We have some Delta squads moving up with Humvee support, which of course means no support at all. Notice there's a green jacket here because cargo, of course, is a US supply truck, not a American, not a UK one. So this was clearly stolen. Now he's just taking that back and pretty well cleaned up that position. We're seeing a nice little arc here, nice controlled area. And it looks like Taargus, in fact, is trying to push through the middle very, very slowly. Whoa, we have a push here. We have 8 U.S. Marine Corps tanks coming in here. And he's just sitting in the middle here. This is not where you want to be. You need to be on the move when you're pushing. This is too open an area. This is what we would call a bottleneck. You do not want to sit in the bottleneck. All the while, 4 U.S. Marine Corps tanks will be trying to chase down this Fox Recon, which of course is a good target. Will be cost effective, set to 50 points. This attack, unfortunately, is not just with cost effectiveness though. It kind of has to do a lot of damage. And we're seeing some US Marines without any kind of support at all rushing across the field. Will this be a smart move? I can't see why it would be. And I'm thinking the advantage is here for him, that he wants to get these US Marines into these towns, into these forests, and try and secure this forward location so that he can do maybe a second push, possibly. But there's just so much artillery barrage here, and it's killing him. We have 2 Challenger 1 tanks. These, of course, are some pretty potent, very sexy tanks coming up. And many people feel they're a little underpowered. I disagree. Minor success here for Mr. Fenchurch as he has moved forward, grabbed this location here. And this does allow him to do some things. Now, he will need to clear out this area here, but he can sneak through this path here. An anti-tank gun vehicle or squad into this location, try and pick across the way. It will be very defensively valuable, and it will be very aggressively valuable, because you want that anti-tank gun support when you're doing a push as well. Pro tip. So the IHawk here, doing pretty good. Whoa, US Marine Corps are going to try and take out a Chieftain MK-10. Might actually be able to do it, but here comes the Chieftain MK-10 in support and a tow as well, and that is a short-lived US Military Corps vehicle. So yeah, Chieftain MK-10s are able to spot in the distance. Will be picking off these US Marines as they come forward. Unfortunately, the US Military Corps is not in position to try and counterfire this MK-10 and trade with it. Not looking to lose that force just yet. And really, Fenchurch is playing very badly, using a lot of these infantry to kind of just rush forward as opposed to doing the killer thing. Huge Harrier miss there, missed the Delta squad there. And now we're seeing more of some of these Lob 25s, I shouldn't say more. Lob 25s can move forward, try and grab these forward woods locations that he wants secured, that he rushed all his infantry out of. And he's also got a lot of mortars just in weird positions. He's trying to reposition them cautiously so they're not being hit, because he has, of course, lost a pack of them. And all the while, oh so sneaky Fenchurch, gone into the supply block. Actually going to be able to do a pretty significant amount of damage. You just got to keep this unit in a good position. He's using these UH-1Es to form the supply block. There, of course, is no good location here for a supply block. He will need to land these very quickly. Might not be in time. In fact, going to lose almost all his forces there. But able to get one U.S. Marine in this very close supply point. So this is going to be a very serious consideration for Taargus. If this U.S. Marine is able to kill too much, that could be a problem. Well, he's doing some kind of a supply block. It's a weird one, that's for sure. Now, of course, this is very well defended, so this should do pretty much no damage, except for stealing this supply chuck, of course. And in the distance here, we see that the Challenger will be cleaning up this location as well. So Fenchurch, unfortunately, having gained no ground, is moving up his Lob 25s, trying to pick up what he can. Lob 25s, of course, very, very potent. Due for a nerf, many would say. Harriers coming in, bringing some bombing support, and do get a lot of kills. U.S. military corps do go down. Lob 25s moving in, but not doing much damage. Sally, the British forces are moving forward and actually getting wiped out by Lob 25s. Oh dear lord. And apparently lots of jet fire. It's still a 600 point lead, however, for Taargus. Taargus looks like pretty key to win this. Even though Fenchurch did significant damage to these Lob 25s, unfortunately they're 35 points each, and losing any of these is very hurtful. As well, the U.S. military corps are about 20 points per squad. So that is all the stuff. Is actually game-winning situation. Now we do see that Taargus is actually in a bad situation. He has his rover CP getting fired on by a Lob 25, which once again, I think this is a quite overpowered vehicle. It's got a tank destroyer Bushmaster on it, for God's sakes. And but that is a matter of opinion. And all these sort of plays that Fenchurch is doing is actually bringing back in the game. He's got the Marine Squad here, tangling up reinforcement lines. It's actually forcing Taargus to go through this other reinforcement path here. He will be able to take out this U.S. Marine Squad, might be able to kill the Stalwart for extra points, and the UHE-1. He's only about 90 points away from a win. What am I, Russian? A win here. And he doesn't really need too much. The rover pull is smart, of course. He doesn't want to lose that. There is a Humvee going to try and intercept, but probably won't be able to. And yeah, he's just going to march forward a lot of the infantry. He's playing it safe, which is smart. When you're winning this well, you don't want to risk too much. He's going to put, yes, of course, the anti-tank gun in the front and the Fusiliers in the back. And this will probably protect it against this U.S. Marine Corps as well. And in fact, the Saracen has found the Humvee. Humvee should go down, theoretically. And there's no reason for these two Saracens not be able to take this. And, whoa, we have a draw. It was actually so close. Fenchurch, in fact, technically won. Yeah, Fenchurch won, actually. But, Taargus, wow, really throwing away this game. Ouch. My name is TheTroublmaker. I have one more game for the week, and join me for it. It will be most excellent. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe.